What's going on, guys? It's New York Prepper here, and I'm just doing a little day trip today. I'm gonna do a little camp out, cook some hot dogs, build a little fire. Me and my fiance, we're going out to the woods and just having a great time, enjoying the weather. I just wanted to bring you some of the footage from this little day trip I'm going on, and I wanted to show you some of the beautiful scenery here in the Catskill Mountains of New York State, which a lot of people don't really know about in different parts of the US. Unless you're a person from New York, then you're very familiar with the Catskills. But I wanted to just show you guys how beautiful these mountains are and how beautiful the terrain is here, and bring attention to the beauty of the Catskills. And there's some beautiful mountains here. Now they're not like huge mountains like out west where you have like 8,000 foot peaks or something, but they go up to like 4,000 feet, so they're quite big. There's a few ski resorts around here, and so stick with me and I'll bring you guys some footage from my day trip. I hope you guys are having a great weekend and enjoying your loved ones and having a good time with your family. That's very important in these hard times that we're living in, to spend time with our families and make time for recreational activities to de-stress and get our mind off of all the craziness going on around the world. And especially, building bonds with our families is very important. In the world that we live in today, we're so busy working all the time. Most of us are gone during the day at our jobs, and then we come home and we have chores to do, and you just really don't have much time to spend with your own family, your own loved ones. And it's important to set aside some time with your loved ones and your family, and spend the whole day together, and focus on each other and just enjoying yourselves and spending some good time. So I encourage all of you guys to make sure you're doing that. Don't neglect your recreational time. It's important to spend time to de-stress and spend time with your family. So stay tuned, and I hope you enjoy the video. Thank you guys for all your support. Just want to show you guys the rugged terrain over here. Very steep mountains here, very secluded. This area gets a lot of snow and very cold temperatures in the winter, and also flooding. Believe it or not, this area is very prone to flash floods because all the rivers come off of the mountains, and when it rains, the rain flows into the rivers, and the rivers can rise very rapidly. There was some devastating floods here in 2011 from Hurricane Irene. There were entire towns that were engulfed in flash floods. They were totally cut. The water rose like 30 feet in some areas. Entire roads were washed out, bridges were washed out, entire towns were flooded. It's pretty crazy. That's why it's important, if you live in a mountainous area like this, you have to be cognizant of the fact that there's a lot of natural hazards, and you have to be prepared for them. Snow, flash floods, extreme weather. You have to be ready for that and have plans in place to deal with it. Look at this beautiful scenery here, guys. Look at those beautiful horses, guys. Check them out. Just chilling out, waving their tails, kicking up dirt. I don't know what they're doing over there. I don't know anyone that knows anything about horses. Put in the comments why they're still standing there in the dirt and waving their tails. What are they doing? It's interesting behavior. I've never really seen that before with horses. I've never been around horses much, so I don't know much about them, but they're just all standing there waving their tails. It's pretty funny. It's interesting. I don't know what they're doing. What do you guys think? This is the Catskill Wilderness here. It's extremely quiet here. Not a soul around for miles. Look at this beautiful water, guys. Crystal clear water. Cold coming down off the mountain. Get these beautiful trees all over. And the weather here is a good 15 degrees colder than other parts of New York surrounding the mountains. Because of the elevation, it's probably about 15 degrees colder, so even like right now, it's nice and cool outside. I'm not sweating at all. And at nighttime, the temperatures drop nice and cool in the summertime. You know, down to the 50s, sometimes the 40s, depending on, you know, the day. But it stays nice and cool throughout the summer here. And the winters are extreme, though. That's the only downside. But if you're prepared, you know, living in an area that has a lot of snow and cold is a good natural barrier to, you know, people from the city that are going to overrun your bug out area, you know, or bad guys, marauders. You know, living in a colder climate can act as a natural barrier. So, and that's not something a lot of people really think about. But, you know, deep snow and cold temperatures are going to keep people out from your area. So, you know, especially if you don't have the right car, if you don't have the right gear, the right experience, you know, going into a cold climate is going to be terrifying for you. Oh, look at that big crane. 2 cranes. Look at that, guys. Beautiful. Look at those cranes. You see them? Gorgeous cranes. Wow. That's amazing. But, you know, for the average Joe that never really spent a lot of time in cold climates, you know, and doesn't have a lot of experience in cold climates and doesn't have the right equipment, the right vehicle, you know, venturing out into a cold area with a lot of snow is not something that most people are going to do. So in the winter time, this area is totally dead. There's nobody here except people that have cabins up here or hunters that come up for hunting season, you know, and some more die-hard hikers that hike in the winter. So it's usually the summertime, like right now, when this area gets really busy. But even now, as you see, it's not that busy here. And just look at all the resources around you. You got water, plenty of natural materials here, plenty of wood. You can easily start a fire. You can easily find some game. As far as small game goes, in this part of the New York State, in the Catskills, it's mostly going to be porcupines and squirrels. A lot of porcupines here, and then mostly deer and bear. There's actually probably more bear than deer in the Catskills. There are a lot of deer over here, but they're spotty, you know, because it's very extreme weather and cold winters, so the deer population's a little bit thinner up here. But you can find some areas that have a decent deer population. You have to go down into the valley areas. That's where the deer are going to be. So, but just wanted to show you guys what it looks like here. Look at this beautiful lake here in the Catskill wilderness. Look at how quiet it is here. This is a seasonal little lake community here. It's very small. This freezes over obviously in the winter. It's extremely quiet here. I grew up hunting around this area. This is my stomping grounds here around this lake. It's where I spent probably like a good 15 years of my life hunting these woods. Deep in the woods over here. A lot of bears in this area. Big bears. A lot of good deer hunting too. In the winter time it's absolutely gorgeous here. The snow is beautiful here when the snow comes down. Everything is covered in snow, and all the spruce trees and all the birch trees. It's absolutely gorgeous here. We made it to our usual spot here, guys. Deep in the wilderness. Not many people here because it's already August, so there's really no one around. I think I saw like 2 or 3 other people down the road. It's a dirt road here that we're on, and we're gonna just build a little campfire here and cook some hot dogs, and then go for a little hike in a little while when we're done eating. Show you guys what the road looks like here. It's a very isolated area here. I used to hunt this area when I was younger. I'm gonna come back this year and do some hunting here. I stopped hunting here for a long time just because I never really saw that many deer back in the day when I hunted here, because it's such a secluded area. And there used to be a lot of hunters that would come and crowd this area. Because of the dirt road, you can just park on the side and hunt. So, you know, it would always be a ton of hunters here. And, you know, they thinned out the population. But now that the amount of hunters here in New York has diminished, so the deer populations have come back and the hunting's a lot better now. So, I'm going to be doing some hunting here this fall. I'm excited, you know, to potentially get a monster buck. So that's what it looks like right now over here. Temperature is gorgeous. It's like 75 degrees. Beautiful day. It's actually like low 70s right now. Very, very cool. Not sweating at all. It's awesome weather here. Beautiful blue sky. Look at that blue sky up there, guys. It's absolutely gorgeous blue sky. And I brought my thermal. Maybe I'll see a Bigfoot later. You know, maybe I'll see a little Bigfoot out in these deep forests over here. And there's nobody around for miles. There's a couple of hunting clubs around. There's some hiking trails here. This is a wilderness area. So, you know, you can go for miles, you know, without seeing any major signs of people besides maybe an occasional hunting club or a cabin of some sort. But this is all wilderness, so it's nothing but just deep woods all around. So that's pretty much it. We're gonna cook some hot dogs now, and stay tuned for the rest of my trip here. Got my wool blanket here and American flag chair. Wool blankets are always nice to bring in your car. You can always use them to sit down on, lay down on, or if you get cold, you can, you know, it's always good to have a wool blanket in your car. I always keep one. My fiance loves the wool blanket. She always loves to use it. Alright guys, I just want to show you how I'm starting the fire here. I got plenty of dry hemlock branches, and then here I got these little shavings here. I have fine shavings right here. As you see, these are going to take the initial spark from my fire steel, and then I have larger shavings which I'm going to put on top of this once I get it started. And the way I'm making these shavings is I have this little splinter of wood, and what I'm doing is, to get the finer shavings over here, I'm holding my knife 90 degrees at a 90-degree angle, and I'm just shaving off the side of the dry wood here to get these very fine shavings. Okay, you hold it at 90 degrees, you don't put a lot of pressure, you're just skimming off very small pieces of wood. And then to get these larger shavings, you're holding your knife at an angle and you're cutting into the wood a little more, you know, kind of like you're making a feather stick. So that's how I'm starting the fire. That's a little fire starting tip for you guys. Good. So this is how I do the fine shavings, alright? Notice I have it on top of a log so it's dry. I hold the knife 90 degrees like this, and I stroke off like this. Okay, so I hold it 90 degrees, and I'm just very gently stroking off very fine shavings off the piece of wood, the dry wood. And I make a nice size pile, just enough to take a spark. Okay, just like so. It may take a few minutes to get a good pile because you're shaving off very small amounts of wood, you know. So, you know, just do that for a few minutes. The key is to have a sharp blade, and you know, you just do that for a few minutes till you get a good pile. All right, and then once you get a good pile, you know, set it aside, and then you make your large shavings just like so. You hold your knife, you know, like on an angle, and you just carve down. You carve down just like so. Let me see here, I don't want to mess up my pile. Let's twist it around here. You carve down just like so, and you get the larger shavings, okay? And the best way to do it is to not pull your knife down, but actually pull the wood back towards you, okay? So you hold the knife in one direction, and then you pull the knife towards you. This way you don't mess up all the work that you've done. You can also carve a feather stick like this, but the key is you want to get these little corkscrews, you know, like this. You want to get these little corkscrews, and that's going to get the fire going. And then once you do that, you put the sticks on top. Alright guys, I'm going to start this fire now. I'm going to light the finer shavings and then put the bigger shavings on top, and then throw some of the kindling, the sticks on top, and get this thing going. There we go. Whoops. Looks like I gotta hit it again. Let it burn a little more. There you go. Okay. Okay. Get the sticks on there. Okay. Let's get more sticks. Alright. Okay. Alright guys, we got the fire going now, and I cheated obviously. I bought firewood at the store just because I had limited time, you know, rather than going in the woods and gathering stuff. So I brought firewood from the store, but the fire's going, and now we're gonna cook some hot dogs. Alright guys, so we're cooking our hot dogs. These are really good if you guys want some all-natural hot dogs. These are uncured, so there's no nitrates and no nitrites and no antibiotics, humanely processed, all-natural beef hot dogs. We got some Kościuszko spicy mustard. I'm Polish, so I love this Kościuszko. This name is after a famous Polish-American general during during the Revolutionary War. He was a combat engineer. Got some tomato ketchup and some hot dog buns. Dogs, guys, we're just cooking them over the fire. I think they need a little bit more. Just got them on the skewer here. Just gonna cook them a little bit more. Get it to split. I like to let my hot dogs split a little bit so some of the fat runs out and it's nice and crispy on the outside. You can even put them above the coals. It's looking really good. So that's what we're doing here, guys, in the beautiful Catskill wilderness. Nobody around. There was only like one other person earlier, so we're pretty much kind of by ourselves here. There may be one other guy somewhere down the road camping out, but we got this whole place to ourselves. So, and we're not at a campground or anything. It's just a primitive campsite. We got a nice stream right there to get water. So look at these hot dogs, guys. Nice and juicy. Can't wait to eat them. Look at that. Look at that. Beautiful. Yum. Fire cooked hot dogs with ketchup. These are the uncured hot dogs. Some Cape Cod potato chips, Kościuszko mustard, which I highly recommend. It's spicy Polish mustard. Uncured hot dogs, organic hot dogs, cooked right over the fire here in the beautiful Catskill Mountains of New York. Look at this beauty. Beautiful area here. Nobody around, just us and the river. It's gorgeous. Alright guys, wanted to just show you my gear that I have on this little trip. I always have my 44 mag strapped to my chest when I'm in the wilderness. I got my Marine Raider Bowie knife here on the side. I don't know if you guys can see, it's getting dark out. Go by the fire so you guys can see better. Got my Marine Raider Bowie knife here, which I actually just did a review on. Oh yeah, I don't know if you guys are going to see that. Knife right here, and I always carry two knives, so I have my main combat knife and then I have a backup knife, this little 2.5 inch blade knife, which I carry on my waist on my weak side in a Kydex sheath. Alright, I have it here so I can grab it like so. Let me show you guys. So I got the backup knife here, weak side, strong side. I got my main knife here, this main survival knife, which today happens to be a Marine Raider Bowie knife. It sounds a little overkill for a little camping trip, but you know, if you look around, we're in the middle of nowhere. So, you know, I always like to have at least a pistol and one knife, but preferably two knives and a pistol, because this is bear country. There's nothing but wilderness around, and we're miles away from any kind of cell signal, so you want to always be prepared. 2 reloads, you know, you never know what's going to happen. full chamber right now, 6 rounds. And see, I got some just basic these True Spec shorts are really nice. These are True Spec BDU shorts. Highly recommend it to you guys. Oh, there we go. We got some light here. True Spec BDU shorts. I love these things. They're just basically BDUs that were cut into shorts, and they're awesome. Highly recommend it for the summertime. So, just had the hot dog. The hot dog was delicious, and I'm gonna have another one now, and then we're just gonna go for a little walk down the road over here, and then we're gonna take off in a little while once we burn out our fire. But yeah, there's no one around. I think there's just one other person here. And you know, when you go on these camping trips and you're far away from civilization, you know, you always want to have some kind of weapon, because you never know what you're going to run into out here. So my fiance actually gets mad at me because she thinks that I can never chill out because I always got to have my weapon or something on me. I'm always thinking about stuff like that. But but you know, I tell her that she's gonna thank me when you know, a bear pops out of the woods or something, you know, or some kind of weird dude over here, you know, camping. Last time I was here a couple months ago, there was a dude living in his car, not far down the road over here. You know, because it's wilderness area, so people sometimes, you know, homeless people or people hiding from the law hang out here occasionally. You never know. So I always like to be prepared, you know. So here's the knife I was talking about. It's the Ontario Marine Raider Bowie. I'm gonna upload a video review of that. So that's pretty much it. You know, that's what's nice about having a pistol if you're out camping. You know, because you don't, you know, it's small, it's light. You know, it's a good survival tool, self-defense tool, and it doesn't take up, it's not like I'm carrying a big rifle all the time. So, you know, you could easily carry this. And I wanted to just show you guys how beautiful the fire looks now. The fire looks gorgeous. I want to show you guys the fire. So, just having a nice relaxing evening here, getting away from society. Getting away from the rat race, even though I don't really commute or anything like that, but it's just nice to get away, you know, and listen to that beautiful stream, that beautiful river down there. Listen to that water. This is beautiful out here. So that's pretty much it for now. Alright guys, we're heading back from our little day trip in the Catskill wilderness, and we're driving through some isolated areas. We just saw a porcupine. There's a lot of porcupines here, but I hope you guys had a great weekend. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I have a few videos I'm going to be doing this week, so stay tuned for that. And thank you guys for all your support. And as always, take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 P's: prepare, practice, and persevere.